Hi, my name is Catherine Mendonca and I am a first year fashion marketing student at Leeds University. In this vlog I'll be using marketing theories and definitions to discuss my buying behaviour and what influences me as a consumer. I'll be talking about 3 different types of purchases. These include routine problem solving, which involves frequently purchased items that do not require much thought. They're usually low in cost and in response to a short-term need, for example milk and bread from the local supermarket. Limited problem solving, which involves occasionally purchased items that require more consideration and thought. They're also slightly higher in price than routine items, for example everyday items of clothing. Extended problem solving involves less frequently bought items that require a systematic and more informed decision-making process. They're typically expensive and high risk, for example a new car. Consumer buying behaviour can be defined as the acts of individuals directly involved in obtaining, using and disposing of economic goods and services, including the decision processes that precede and determine these acts. Engel et al. 1986. Before making any of my purchases, I went through the consumer decision-making process, Gosnay and Richardson 2010. The first stage is problem recognition, then an information search, evaluation of information and alternatives, purchase decision, post-purchase behaviour, and finally, feedback prior to next decision. My first purchase was a coffee from Starbucks. This was routine problem solving as it's a habitual, inexpensive and low risk product. I recognised that I was tired and needed a coffee. I conducted an information search on Google Maps to find out where my nearest coffee shop was. I then evaluated which was closest and which was best value for money and then decided on Starbucks, which I was happy with because I'm loyal to them as a customer. A coffee is a basic refreshment and it falls into the bottom category of physiological needs on Maslow's hierarchy of needs. The particular Starbucks store where I purchased my coffee is located close to my accommodation, and this involves one of the 4 P's of the marketing mix: place. As the Starbucks is so nearby, I'm more likely to buy from them because it's convenient to me as a consumer. My next purchase involved limited problem solving and was a pair of black boots from ASOS. As the current month is November and the weather is getting colder, I recognised the problem that I needed a new pair of winter boots. I searched online and in stores for different styles and colours. This can be linked to the diffusion of innovation theory, Rogers 1962. Rogers recognised that people react to new ideas in different ways and split them down into 5 categories. The innovators, people willing to take risks and take little convincing. The early adopters, these are comfortable with trying new ideas and tend to be the leaders. The early majority, these need to see evidence of a new idea working in order to be convinced. The late majority, these are reluctant to change and will only try something if it has been tried by the early majority. Then finally, the laggards. These are people who stick to a tradition and require motivation to change. In the case of me purchasing my winter boots, I would place myself into the early majority category. I was reluctant to buy any until I had done my research, seen others wearing them, and tried multiple pairs on. I also looked to reference groups of influencers that I follow on Instagram for style inspiration. The self-concept approach influenced my purchase as I felt I would only buy the boots from a well-known brand and one that I could relate to as a teenage girl. After evaluating all of my options, I decided to purchase from ASOS, which is an online retailer. This is because they had my size in stock, had free delivery and offered student discount of 20%. The theory of cognitive dissonance, Festinger 1957, can be applied to my purchase. This is a theory that suggests we re-evaluate our attitudes and opinions on something after it has taken place. It was likely that I was going to feel cognitive dissonance after my purchase if the quality of the boots did not meet my expectations. Luckily, on reflection, I'm happy with my purchase. My final purchase involved extended problem solving. This was my decision to book my chosen accommodation for my first year at university and required me to think of both short and long-term consequences. As student life in the city centre is known to be incredibly expensive, I had a systematic approach to my research. I recognised that I needed to choose somewhere to live here in Leeds. I then looked on the university website and compared the rent prices, location and the style of the rooms. Once I learned that I would be studying mainly on city campus, I made the informed decision to book the accommodation that I currently live in. External influences on me as a consumer helped to inform my choice, such as my family's opinions and reading views from previous residents online. The theory of planned behaviour, Azjen 1991, explains that our behaviour comes about from our intentions to act a certain way. My intention to choose accommodation at city campus was influenced by the social pressure of the subjective norm. Essentially, the idea that most of my peers would be choosing to live in the centre and I did not want to be left out. I hope that this vlog has provided you with an insight into my behaviour as a consumer. Thank you for watching.